Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
How about now? Any better, Roger? Hear my voice, see my screen? Good, there we go. All right, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to get rid of the chat box here. Good morning. Yeah, it's black. That's correct, David. I'm just getting fired up. All right, so let's get started here. And thank you all for being here today on a bright Saturday morning. We do now. Thank you, Jim. All right, so I'll put this out of the way. So I'm going to leave the question box out for myself so I can see any questions that you have. If you have any, ask them along the way. I'll do my best to answer them. Do you see the question box in the middle of the screen? I don't think you do. You don't see the question box? Yes or no? No, good. Okay, let's go. Here we go. All right, so let me get my laser up and running here, and I am ready to work. Okay, profitable day trading, and by similar logic, profitable funded trading. How do we do that with robots, or how can it be done with robots? The lecture today is about 28 minutes long. There are 22 slides, and there will be 4 quizzes, and you can earn bonus prizes with those quizzes. So here we go. Now, for most of you, you're meeting me for the first time. My name is Dr. Dean Hanley. I have a couple of degrees. By way of background, I went to Lycoming College in Williamsport. I got my master's and PhD at Rutgers Medical School. I did a fellowship at Columbia University in New York City. I did another one at Yale Medical School in New Haven, Connecticut. I got my MBA from Boston University. And I got my law degree, my jurisprudence doctorate from Concord Law School in Purdue. I've also published a fair amount in the futures industry, and what I'm most proud of, I think, in terms of my science background, is the discovery, patent, and launch of Clarinex antihistamine. Some of you may use it, descarboethoxylimaridine. I published a lot in these journals going forward, over 50 papers. I had 2 rooms of my own, test-rack trading for about 2 years, and later on True North. I have a decent YouTube channel with a lot of videos on it, so you can subscribe if you're so inclined. So let's get started on today's lecture. The current universe of futures trading. Let me unpack it for you in the way that I see it. You have 3 choices as a futures trader. 1, you can trade alone, by yourself, in any format that you like. 2, you can trade with a human, what we call carbon-based trading. By my count, and I keep a very careful count, there are 2,303 trading sites. I have an encyclopedic list of them if you wish. It looks like this. I track them according to whether they're out of business, OOB, whether they are sites that fund you like TopStep or Lilu, sites that claim to be trade rooms but have no track record, no actual trade, so they are by definition all vendor, no trader. Some sites that have at least marginal, sporadic, or restricted track records, meaning they do some trades. And lastly, rooms that I recommend as global trade titans. They have a detailed track record, show their trades in real time, and post every detail of that. Now, here's the catch. Somewhere around 99.3% of these rooms do not trade. They're all vendor, no trader, all sales, and they make all their money off of you. So they see you as sort of like a human ATM machine. So when we talk about the futures trading universe, we're really talking about the futures sales room universe. That is one of the 3 scams in the futures industry. You can see it on my video. There are only 5 rooms that trade transparently in real time. have a track record, and gross more than $50,000 a year, which is $1,000 a week. You'll see that's an important number going forward. And these are the 5. We're not going to talk about them today. Your third choice is to trade with a robot, algorithmic trading. And by definition, that's a good choice because somewhere around 93% of the futures trade room industry is already algorithmically traded, so you're in good company. We call this silicon-based trading. I've tracked down as many robots as I can and find 5,200 and change. You can get a list that looks like this. I found them from these common sites here, and I added them all together and got rid of the duplicates. Stryker has a fairly decent list of robots. A partial list can be seen by Heritage West and Insignia. Cannon Trading has a nice list. It ranges from 1,600 to 2,300. Similar list at Stage 5. Futures Truth has a decent list of robots, 688, but they are out of business for the last 2 years and have not updated it. High Ground, Collective 2, add them all together and get rid of the duplicates, are 5,219. So we're going to pay attention to those. Here's how it works. What are the limitations of these robots? Here's what I defined as limitations. First of all, most of them do not day trade. Do not day trade. Let me show you. Here's a list of my Cannon systems, and I'm going to track that according to they have 1,676 on this list. We're going to track according to profit factor, which you know I'm going straight for the amount of money. I'm going to skip the first one because it has too few trades, and look at these ones right here. This one, called DAX Future Mario Stop T Profit Intraday, has 13 trades in 13 months. No thanks, 1 a month. 24 trades in 29 months, less than 1 a month. The Forest Trading System. This one, Loki Gold, 19 trades in 13 months, so 1.5 trades a month. 49 trades in 23 months, so 2 a month, 1 every other week. 28 trades in 73 months, so 1 every 3 months. The moral of the story is they do not day trade. You can go right on down the list. Second problem, over 700 of them are cadaveric. That means they're dead. What does a dead program look like? Well, Stryker has quite a few of them. This is Alexis trading system, been tracked since 2012. The last update is 2014, so they haven't had a trade in the last 8 years. Or Ready, Set, Go Copper. I like this one. Traded since January 2020, ends in 2020. So we're going to change the name from Ready, Set, Go to Long, Long Gone. Now you understand cadaveric programs. 1,900 of them lose a little money, make a little money, or lose a lot of money, just like us. Let's take a look. Here's a list from Futures Truth, all 688 of them, starting on the left and going down numerically. As I said, there's 688 programs. 60% of them don't make money. They lose money, in fact. Average $577 loss per system. Per system. Bravo. 38% make less than $1,200 in the last 12 months, averaging $14 a day. Do you want to average that? I don't. So now we have 98% of the programs either losing money or making nothing. Only 13 make some amount of money, and their average is $70 a day. As I told you, the Titans make $50,000 a year, which is $200 a day. $50,000 a year is $1,000 a week, $200 a day. So quite minimal comparison. Oh, here's Abraxas, one of my favorite systems right here. They lost $64,000. Wow, market that right away. Yeah, I put that to bed, and it was one of many that should be buried. I want to let you know that I just don't take pot shots at these programs at a distance. I study them in detail. I did an entire video on Buy-Side Global and compared it to Target Trading Pro. I did videos on these 7 rooms here. Put it in this video. I looked at the honest robot trader. Anyway, put that in the video. And I looked at right line trading, put that in the video as well. So I pay attention to these rooms very carefully, these sites. And lastly, there's this 100 of non-functional, dysfunctional, non-linear programs that are just not even worth mentioning. They just have garbage for performance. So if that's what I don't want, what do I want? What am I looking for? Simple. A hands-free system that's algorithmic, day trading, and trades the trades in real time. And that would suit my needs perfectly. So let's take a look. Now, I have some of my questions popping up here. Hold on for a minute. Okay. Right line train is set. Nah. Yeah, I guess, Mark Saxey was a oxycodone doctor there for a while before he got cracked, lost his license. I guess they are sad. Okay, so here's what I want. I want 1 to 7 trades a day during these time frame. I don't want to trade all day long. I want a profitable trade. So question number 1, quiz number 1, what is a profitable trade? We hear it all the time, be profitable, mad profitable trading. What is it? This is my definition. 2 to 3 ticks of profit per contract plus round trip costs. So for something like gold, which is $10 a tick, $30 per contract plus 5 is $35. A 3 contract trade would be around $100. That's just a thumbnail sketch. If you have a different definition of a profitable trade, you can use it. I want to earn a living day trading. So good question. Quiz number 2. What is to earn a living? Earn a living. Now, we have no problem seeing that posted. Let me show you, for example. Here we go. All these sites talk about earning a living. These are called information sedative pictures. Day trading for a living, trading for a living, nifty futures for a living, full-time income, second income. Good. How much is that? How much is that? My definition of it is $50,000 a year, which is the median salary in the United States. If you trade 50 weeks a year, you make this per week, this per day. That'll work. So is there one program that meets all of these criteria? I have one. I have 2, but this is the biggest one. Created by Bob Amico. The program that I'm going to describe first up is called the Originals. It's traded in the Target Trading Pro room. There are 5 indices in this set of bots. Although you could have an infinite number, he chooses to only trade 5. These bots are fully automated, hands-free. They are standard at 3 contracts a trade. And although they can have a 1, 2, or 3 target system, we use 2 target system and break even going forward. All the data I'm going to show you is generated from my real-time forward walk program, not back testing. Real-time forward walk. Is that a big deal? It's a very big deal, Mon. Real-time paper trading forward walk has a lot of advantages over back test or hypothetical, which is typically seen ads and used by unscrupulous, I love that, algorithmic trading sellers. And Ninja lists all the deficiencies that produce corrupted data from backtesting. So I trade only the 4 indices. I'll just tell you not all 5. I trade from 6 to 11 because that's my time frame. The bots are off for U.S. News, 4-star News, and the U.S. Open. I synchronize my time each morning. You may think your computer does for you. Think again. You want to synchronize your time. Being off 2 seconds early or 2 seconds late is not productive in terms of futures trading. My bots average 1.75 to 3 trades a day, which is good for each of the 4 indices, not all together, for each. They average this much per 3 contract trade, so all within my wants and needs. This is my spreadsheet going here. I'll just point out. We're going to look at the bot here, NASDAQ, gross $178,000 over 275 trades, which gives us an average of 148 trade. Bravo, much more than we want. This data set has 427 days. So quiz number 3, how long does it take to get 427 days of real-time forward walk data? Now, if you get this question right, you get a pair of his and her Vipers for free. How long? Anyone want to post in the chat? Oh, the Vipers could be yours. Going once, going twice. Anyone? Okay. 427 days. Average 2.9 trades a day, which gives me a total average a day of $400 and change for the bot itself, for one bot. Likewise, I look at target 1 and target 2 individually and calculate the average profit per contract per target, which tells us that in fact it behooves you to use a 2-target system and to weight towards target 2. The 3 of these put together average $943 per day the last 420, so that's roughly 2 years. We want $200 a day, so that's good, and I haven't changed the settings once. So exactly the same as they were 2 years ago. If you have questions on this data alone, you can email me. If you have questions on the bot, you can email Bob. There's a second set of bots called accelerated growth. Oopsie daisy. Again, the same time frame, 6 to 11, avoid the news, synchronize for time, hands-free, 3 contracts a trade. You're getting used to it. Settings have not been changed again since 2 years ago. This is what these guys will look like. And average 4 to 3 to 2 to 1.7 trades a day, so very good. Average 157 to as high as 446 a day, averaging grossing $1,500 a day for the last 341 days, so roughly 1.7 years. All right. And the other thing too is that target 2 averages more than target 1. You need to know this if you're going to use an ATM system that's weighted towards target 2. You could have 4 contracts have 1 off at target 1 and 3 off at target 2. So target 1, 178, target 2, 319. So when you're trading towards strength, you trade towards target 2. This is the same for all the bots. Profit loss for targets, for profit loss for sells is greater than buys. Let me show you. Over the last year and a half, sells have averaged 738 a trade, 241, almost 3 to 1. So again, if you're trading towards strength, you tend to weight your contracts towards sells and away from buys. Although buys are not so slouchy, sells are spectacular. And the package is available today to members that are in Bobby's room. And again, if questions on these bots, you can contact Bobby. Questions on the data, you can contact me. And lastly, the funded bots. So these are really clever, very cool. They're developed and brought to the membership by Bob. He calls them funded trader bots. The room members have been interested in funded trading for some time. There are difficulties, as you know, if you've tried in obtaining and maintaining accounts. There are quite a few funded accounts to choose from. You may recognize some of the ones that you have used. We particularly focused on Apex, OneUp, and Lilu. Apex, OneUp, and Lilu. The funded bots are traded daily live in the room. There's 5 indices in this group of bots shown here. Again, hands-free, fully automated, 2-contract system, 2-target system, break-even in place. And the system, again, you know, there are several logics and rationales that Bob has understood from the funded accounts that he's built into the robots. One of them is patience. The second one is scalping. So your target is 500 hours a day initially with a 1,500-hour drawdown or loss, and you stop. The next, if you hit this the next day or two, you go to 1,300, 1,100, and you ratchet up your loss to prevent much greater loss than in the beginning. So you're being careful. Break even is used as its mathematically superior strategy. What does that mean? For all, I've looked at trades over time that both buys and sells. They go to target 1 and pull back to entry and then track the individual performance of target 2 itself, whether it goes on to target 2 or whether it goes on to stop out. And there's a heavy degree of preponderance and favoritism for using a break even. By definition, break even occurs some 9 to 11% of the time. So 1 out of 10 trades is a break even trade. Again, all the data is generated from my real-time forward walk, not back test. Looks like this. This is for the last 10 weeks of trading. So oil up top, ES, gold, NASDAQ, and YM. So in 10 weeks, oil has grossed 4,443 trades, averages $103 a trade. This is in fact a a profitable trade, right? By our definition, 2 to 3 ticks per contract plus round trip costs. In fact, so is gold, NASDAQ, and YM. ES a little shy for total composition. Again, it's from 11 in the morning, and we're averaging $470 a day. Remember, our goal is only 500, so we're going to average that or slightly less, obviously. So, fourth question: what has sovereign control over profitability? What has sovereign control over profitability? Any takers? Sovereign control over profitability. Let me see here. I see. I'm looking for 2 questions on it. Let me do it now. Joss, okay. Thank you, Joss, for answering those questions. You did good. 2 years, 27 weeks. Okay. 427. Yeah, okay, 2 years, 2 years. 15-minute chart, 8. Okay, fine. 8 and 18, good. Rocket science. And yeah, trade off between 11. Thank you. Dean, question: what does in room every day with Bob? I thought there was. These are well. Okay, so James has a question. What does Bob has a live trade room, and there are 2 elements in that live trade room. It's from 8 to 11. He trades order flow. He's an expert at it. Live trades in real time, and mixed in that is robot trading. And when the robots take a trade, and I'll show them to you in a minute, Bob posts the robots themselves. So that's the room he runs every day. And the robots are algorithmic, they're automatic, but he shows the robots in real time as they're taking it. Is this getting recorded? Yes, it is, Anthony. If so, can I get a copy? I am watching and listening on the phone. Sure. Bob has the copy, so you'll have to respond to that. 2-minute chart and 177, 233 tick, right. So 2-minute chart for viewing, 177, 233 ticks are secondary time filters or secondary filters. Money management, stop loss, risk. Okay. Is this included as part of the paid funding company? Is this include? I don't the part that has to be paid. No, it doesn't. The funding accounts change, Eli. Okay. All right, questions done. All right, so this is my summary then for 10 weeks, all days, all trades. And so what has sovereign control over profitability? Father Time, right? Let me show you how. I'm going to take this 10 weeks and break it down the following way. I'm going to show you all the trades that occurred on Monday in the last 10 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday through Friday, all right? And I've highlighted the trades that are profitable by our definition. So what you can see is the following. If I highlight these for you, again, these are, this is diurnal variation. So we're looking at it's by definition, it's the fact that the 5 days of the week were not created equal, and that some days will exhibit greater, others less profitability. So what does that look like? Monday averages $486 a day, so bravo. And again, from 9:40 to 11. Tuesday, even better. Now, how do we get more than 500? Well, we can have a couple trades that are running concurrently, and by the time they conclude, and if they're all profitable, the value is greater than 500, and we still close out for the day, though. Wednesday, minus 25, Thursday, and Friday. So first thing you understand is that the 5 days don't show up the same. So if you're trading on the next day, so after 10 weeks, you would trade towards Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. You could trade Wednesday and Thursday with the selected days that you like, but that would be it. Circadian rhythm is the fact that the time frame within each day is not created equal, and that certain time frames will be more profitable and others less. Let me show you what that looks like. We're going to take a given day and break it into 4 time frames. Eastern Standard Time, 4 time frames, and ask the question, if we run the robots at each of these 4 time frames, how do they do? This is Wednesday, 9:40 to 11, minus 25. This is Wednesday from 6 to 9:20, so pre-market trading. Bob doesn't like this very much. It didn't do very well either, averages $35. 1 to 3 punched us up to 451. So what's the difference there? Well, you trade on a different crowd. Why would that be? Don't know. And from evening session from 6 to 9, minus 37. So if you're trading on Wednesday and you have the opportunity, you would trade away from 9:40 and maybe towards the afternoon. It seems to be more profitable, and over the last 10 weeks, it would be your choice. Let's take a profitable day like Monday, averaging 46 a day. The pre-market average is 720. I like that. Afternoon session 822. Evening session 555. So if you were to trade on Monday and you had a choice, you could trade the standard time when the chickens get up or when the cows come home. You can trade all day long. Why is this? Monday is very favorably aligned with the bots. When the bots trade and do well on a given day for week after week after week after week and not good on the subsequent day, that's nothing to do except for the fact that the trading environment has changed and is consistent and chronically opposed or aligned with the bots. And you want to trade with alignment. This is called time range trading. And there's a description on my website if you want to pick it up. So executive summary, here we go. I define for you what I consider deficiencies and limitations and inadequacies of the retail robotic algorithmic universe. And I defined a certain set of requirements and how Target's Trading Pro met those requirements. I profiled the original bots that Bobby set up, the accelerated growth bots, and the funded trade bots. Bobby has a vast number of people that have been funded. Over 130 members have received funding on 400 combined certificates for both funding and combine. He had this many in 1 week. You ever seen so many accounts at once? It's so impressive. He developed a system that works stupendously. And getting questions, contact Bobby on that. So what are your options next in the audience? What are your choices going forward? First one, take a trial. Go to the room, see how it works. And again, this is a live trade room where you'll see order flow trading, next juxtaposition alongside of the bots. And Bobby's concentrating now on the funded bots. Crisp smell of a true room and electric excitement of real trades. What is a live room? You see this word live a lot. In my encyclopedia, there are 80 rooms that have the word live in their title. Here's my definition of what live looks like. Bob is there offering insight on all the indices in the market. He teaches nonstop on the various indicators and the dynamics. The trades he takes are transparent, actual executions, not alerts. You can see the entries, targets, and stops, so you can become, it's hard to learn what you can't see. And as a trader, as an individual expert trader, he is precise, determined, and disciplined, and he exudes confidence and expertise, and he will hold the line. Hold the line. You will not, he will give you a target and stop, and he will hold the line and explain and document the number of buyers and sellers and changing market dynamics as the trade proceeds. A live room. The prices for the 2-bot or multi-bot licenses have been discounted for this lecture. I suggest you get a multi-bot. For a 2-bot, you can trade 2 indices. For a multi-bot, you can trade 52 indices, anything you want to trade. So it's a far more efficient way of doing business. And again, you can find these at targetstradingpro.com/purchase. Same place you find the $10 trial listing. 3 months in the room, in the live trade room. It's doing $600 value. And you get to see his new 15R range ES bot. This is the pictures when I first turned it on. In about an hour and a half or 2 hours, it generated this. At 4 hours, it was up to this. And by the end of the day, it was up to this. It's just a remarkable bot. It seems that you could use this alone for funded accounts. You could use this alone just for day trading altogether. Here's a big one. You will see Bob, the developer, and the inventor trade his own bots with 100% transparency. What does that look like? Here's what it looks like. This is a picture of a screenshot this week on a NASDAQ bot. an ES bot. And once again, you see the entry, targets, stops, profit loss per contract. And here's a rare one. I took this picture, natural gas. Who in the audience has seen a natural gas algorithmic trade in real time? I haven't. Bob trades natural gas. He has a robot built and designed to trade natural gas. Bravo. These sites all claim they have robots that trade, but we can't see them. These sites barely even, AbleSys, Wonder Pro, TruTrade won't even identify who they are. So they have bots, they claim, they sell bots, but they don't trade them. Wonder why. I'm a member of a vibrant bot community, over 500 members. This is a unique thing that you can talk and converse with your fellow bot members about problems or things that you see, questions that you have, get their insight. It's a vast amount of information. For example, on Friday, for my trades, I had 2 trades. This is my bot on the ES, $100 on the first one, $785 on NASDAQ. I was done for the day. You could post those pictures in the NASDAQ in the bot community, Skype community, and get information and feedback and ask the question, how'd you do? Did you get to these trades? Bob's thoughts to you are the following. You can do it. You can be successful. You can trade profitably. You can get a funded account. You can manage a funded account. You can get many people in the room have 4, 5, 8, 10 funded accounts at once. They're all linked together. So if you make $500 on one times 10, you made $5,000 a day. It's a wonderful way of doing business. So this is Dr. Dean. I thank you very much for being here today, and I'll answer any other questions you have. I'll open up the trade panel here. Here we go. Questions. All right. All right. Thank you, Josh, for putting all that. Over time, I find ES from 330 ET to 4 it could, and that would be known as a run. David Lemon says I have this time frame from 330 to 410. That's known as a runway, isn't it? Runway trading. Everyone in the futures industry has a certain logic going forward, and they set that up that way. Compare this expensive bot to an EMA. Yeah, Josh, compare it, but get some data for 2 years and compare it that way. Just typing it out doesn't use anything. Expensive ES is at least paint the line. Show me another one that does the same thing, Who's? Let's see here. $700 per month. That Stephen Lavosi, what is that you asked? $700 per month. 15 range. Any software to download and keep updated. There is software program to download. It's simple. It takes 2 seconds. Well, not literally. It takes 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It has been. The updates are for free, and again, same ease of keeping them. Counting live, transparency, recording night. It is. When we talk about transparent trading, that is a rare thing, not because transparent is rare, but because 99.4% of the 2,000 plus rooms in the futures trade room industry are sales rooms. We don't have a futures trade room industry. We have a futures sales room industry. That's why it's so far to find trading. Touting, okay. ESA cross. So we have a little hectic guy there. James Fast, team. Do we have to be physically in the room, or does the algo kick in automatically? It does. That's a great question. So I run these bots on my machine, and I can see very often the bots in Bobby's room will match mine. to the penny, but not always, because our data feeds are different and our timing's different, and that's true for every other robot owner. We spend some time. So if you have the bots on your machine, they will trade for you independently and in your absence if you're so inclined. You know, for me, the data I have is turn them on, turn them off, hands free. I don't interfere at all, not a penny. That way, I'm exactly sure I know what happened. Yeah. So who's up fan? He's a spoiler, right? All right. So is there a possibility to be able to talk to Bob? Oh yeah. Later today. Yeah, I think Bobby's watching this video, Anthony, but I think he has family plans for the rest of the afternoon. But um, I will email your request to him if you'd like. Oh, hi, there's Bob. There's Bob right there. Bob Amico's in the room with me. So good. What are my risks? Okay, Stephen, this is a good question. So most of us don't understand what risk is unless it's defined in relation to reward. For example, if you take a trade that has a $100 target and a $100 stop, your risk to reward ratio is 1-to-1, correct? $100 target, $100 stop. Risk to reward ratio is 100-to-1. These robots are $2,300. They make that in 1 week. My bots actually make a lot more than that. They make $1,500 a day. So as far as I'm looking at it, and that's for the last 2 years, not touching them, just turning them on, turning them off. I mean, I avoid news, obviously. I don't want the bots to get entangled in that kind of corrupt movement. But short of that, I don't interfere with them at all. So for what it's worth, I think the risk is to not buy the product and try to find another one. I mean, I went through all 5,200. You might be able to find some ones I missed. I doubt it, but you can try. So the idea is that I think quite a few of these have been developed, but very few have been posted. All right, so he keeps posting the same thing. Sunny, what determines which company you get funded with? Okay, personal choice. Right. So the idea is that there are most of the 25 OPM, other people's money sites, have the same prevailing logic. You basically have to make 3,000 before you lose 2,500, something like that. Your drawdown versus your progress. Number two, you have to trade for at least 10, sometimes 20 days. You can't make all the money in 1 day. That means slow and steady, patient scalping. That's exactly what Bobby's bots do. And the next question is, there's an entry fee to get in. It can range. They're competing now, so entry fees are small. By small, I mean 60, 80, $90 a month. If you strike out, you start over again. You know, it's a zero tolerance. So if you go below 2,500, let's say on your drawdown collectively, because it's a floating line, then in fact you have to start over. Now, with the number of members that are getting funded in Bobby's room, I don't think that's a problem at all. So I hope that helps. But yeah, so personal choice and some costs involved as well. Josh, for current members, thanks for your, oh, of course, yeah. Sally, are the discount prices available after taking the trial? Yes, they will be, of course. Bob, Warren, you're welcome as well. All right, so I started a little bit over schedule here, but any other questions for me? Going once. Oh, sorry, it got jammed. Funded bots. Oh, never mind. Will you be sending out an email with a Bob Amico will do that. He will send out contact everyone in this audience, I think, and directly give you information. Can we trade micro? I do. I do trade micros all the time, Wally. All the time, almost every day. Because in dormant, my day margin is like 8 or 9,000 per contract. I have a nice account, but a 3-contract trade is $25,000. 2 trades at once is 50,000. So I trade like 6 or 7 micros, that kind of stuff. There's 2 things about micros that you ought to know relative to E-minis proper. One, they always have the same price. So a micro gold will have the same price as the E-mini, but the micros have a different volume of traders. Now, these robots are based on average true range, and they set their own targets and stops based on ATR and volatility. That means in a normal bot system, no two trades are identical, pretty much. So your micro trades, because they're based on a micro system with different volume, will have different volatility and a slightly different ATR and maybe slightly different targets and stops. But having said that, I've run micros next to E-minis. They're almost identical. And it's a lot of fun with micros. And you can build confidence. You actually you can function that way. You can start off with two micros per trade. So you make some $16 or lose $16, something like that. And then you can build up to a couple $100. And people come to me, and that's how I trade them in the room when I show them. How do we get the $700 discount? Is built into the website on Bobby's web bots. So his price is now down to the original price, and you can get it as we speak. I've been in Bob's rooms. Oh yes, you have. And David Chaffel here has some 3-4 certificates, and it's done really, really well. Does it work on Ninja Trader? Stephen Schwartz asks, does it work on? Yes, these are all Ninja Trader. Is a $700 one-time payment or paid every? Oh, one-time payment. You mean to buy the $700? What's $700? You buy the bots and that's it. There's no payments after that. So I think it's $1,600 for two and $2,400 for unlimited number of bots. And again, if you want to run gold, NASDAQ, ES, YM, natural gas, he has a natural gas robot. I mean, that's an amazing thing, a natural gas robot. He has one dedicated and built for it. You'd probably go for the multi. If using the bots with a funded account, do you still need to synchronize? Oh, yeah, you need to synchronize time every day just to be polite to your computer. Yeah, good question, Paul. Do these work on? Yes, they do. So I might have had micros on the system. I'm not sure, but yeah, they work on micros. I trade micros every day. So like a lot of times, I may trade, let's say 8 or 9 micros, 7 micros, something like that, in a bot system. Can we buy the bots for use on our own? You can, Scott. You can buy the bots for your use and go away. And not, yeah, you get 3 months in the room, which is a hoot. You should come. Bob is amazing. He's just the most dedicated, driven, hardworking, and has incredible focus and diligence. He must look at some 50, 60, 80 screens at once, and he's constantly moving things. And not only that, you're going to love this, he calls option trades every day. Option trades on top of everything else. It's just come and watch. What platform do the bots use? So the bots run on Ninja. My data is Rhythmic. My futures commission merchant is Dorman, and my broker is Stage 5. So you need those 4. Is this service going to be available on TradeStation? All right, so here's the thing with TradeStation. It is, but not to the same extent. I worked for a long time. For me, that's 3 months on TradeStation equivalents for these bots, and I found it very hard to produce exactly the same bot on TradeStation that would produce the same trades as I saw on Ninja. I could not duplicate it. You would say, well, I mean, I know TradeStation very well, and there are so many parameters on TradeStation. But you can get close. You can get close. I was close. Do you trade the opening of the market? Okay, so that's a good question. Bruce asked, do I trade the opening? I don't. Bobby usually shuts his bots off for the open. He may turn them back on 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes after everything settles down. I wait 10 minutes. I turn my bots 10 minutes off before the U.S. Open, 10 minutes after, I put them back on. I turn my bots 10 minutes before Red Star News, 10 minutes after I turn them back on. I'm just a little bit more protective, Bobby actually can weather the storm and trade his bots right into more turbulence than me. So these bots run on trade. They do run on trade copiers, Kenneth. And in fact, Apex has a trade copier of its own. You can go up to 10 accounts, and people have 10 accounts. To trade, how much money should we? All right, so Jason, I can't answer this question because I'm not a broker, but here's the way the math works. And Dorman, I asked my broker this question. Dorman needs like a $10,000 margin or $8,000 margin per contract, so it'd be $800 per micro. So if you're trading a couple, 2, 3 micros, you can get away with a couple, $2,000, $3,000 to start with. And your broker will answer that question for you based on the futures commission merchant that you're going to use as a bank. What methodology will turn off the bots? You just turn them on so we have a way in the bots that you can specify how much they can make before they stop trading, how much they can lose before they stop trading. So it's a daily goal. So you can program that in. And they answer your question, it was $500 to start and $1,500 to lose. Do you check the break-even box in the actual indicator settings or not break even? I check it. You can do both. You can check the break-even box in the indicator settings, and when you save those checks and come back out, the break-even should be on. If it doesn't, just click on it and it will be on either way. But yeah, the break-even settings will do it. Tell me. Oh yeah, so the idea is if you want to buy this bot, email Bob Amico directly. He's ready and waiting to answer any and all questions you have about them. I think I have run some, I'll be careful here. I've run some 165 bots myself already besides these, and these are the most amazing, sophisticated, continuously profitable, simple to work, easy to operate bots I've seen. And by the way, you can't see all the other bots live. You buy the program, and it's dead silence. There's no trade room. There's no help. You rent the program out of Stryker Industries for a month. You're not talking to anyone. You don't see any data. You're completely isolated in a black shell. This room, you're surrounded by people doing the same thing. From Gray, is this service going to be available on? Oh, so we answered that one. So here's I got this email here. I don't know if I can copy this. I think Bobby can see these questions when I hang up. Do you know what a funded account means? Do I know? Don't know. Okay. So there are a lot of sites now that will allow you to trade with other people's money. So the idea is that you have to show that you can trade in a consistent pattern over a consistent period of time, usually a month, making a certain amount of money per day and not losing a certain amount of money altogether. When you satisfy that requirement in the first month, you'll be given $50,000 to trade with. And you have to satisfy the same requirements with the traded money as you do with the initial trial. If you lose more than $1,500 or $2,000 altogether, you get kicked out of the program and you start again. And you start again next day if you want to. These are very profitable, these funded sites. And when you get to the $50,000 account, you trade with the same requirements and restrictions as you had before. When you get to 53,000 and the ability to take out money and how much you can take out over what period of time vary from system to system. But they are so remarkably profitable and pleasant to work with. Okay. Sorry, just got here. Is this software it is for Ninja? Andrew, it is for Ninja. Oh, I got more questions here. Did you say you use 4 contracts, one? Right. So Joshua asked a good question. I tend to weight my contracts towards strength and away from weakness. You have to have at least 2 contracts in to trade a 2-target system. But when I trade, let's say 7 micros, I take 1 off at target 1 and 6 off at target 2. Why? Because target 2 makes more money than target 1. It may not. I mean, I happen to have measured. No, it does. It may not, but it does. It makes a lot more. So it behooves you to take on target 2 and use it for your permanent choice. So that's what I do. I weight towards that. Okay, Andrew's fine. All right, so you can do 3 contracts. You can do 3 off at target 1, 1 off at target 1, 2 off at target 2, or 1 off at targets 1, 2, and 3. I have a 3-target system at YM. And the third target makes more money than the second more than the first. How do you synchronize time in Windows? I can show you that, Stephen. I'll take this presentation down. We don't need this anymore. Here you go. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to synchronize time. You go to the Windows box, open it up, and you go to the gear, right? Settings. Go to gear settings. Open it up. Oops, daisy. It's out of the way here. Go to time and language. Time and language. Click on that. Go to sync now. Sync now. Ta-da! So I'll just do it one more time. You go to the Windows box, you go to settings. When you get to settings, you go to time and language. I can't synchronize again because I just did it, but that's how you say it, okay? There we go. All right. So after trading cycles every week, do they change? They do. All right, so John asked a good question. When I have 10 Mondays, I'm asking the question, what should I do on the 11th Monday? When I get the 11th Monday worth of data and trading done, I add it on and drop the first one. So my data set goes from 1 to 10, and next week it's from 2 to 11, and so on. So my data refreshes itself. Now, what does that tell me? It tells me if something is working well and stops working, I'll know. If something works well and continues to work well, I'll know. I can tell you one thing. When days work are profitable and days are unprofitable, that will be the same for like 6 or 8, 10 months in a row. It's not an overnight phenomenon. It's not a flash in the pan. It's a continuous thing. Hope that helps. I've been in Bob's room twice. He is amazing, Sonny. Sonny Walton says spontaneously, he is amazing. He is amazing. He is clever. He is creative. He's dedicated. He's funny. He's fat. He talks politics. He talks religion. He talks all the forbidden subjects, which makes him so wonderful to listen to. And he has a fledgling. He tries to be a little funny. He doesn't get too many laughs, but he tries to be funny. Are the signal parameters used adjustable? Yes, you can change anything you want, John. I mean, you get the program and you get the settings for all the bots that we have in the room as I described. So you get a set for the originals if you want them, or for the accelerated, or especially for the funded, and I'll set those up for you. And then you can change everything you want. You can duplicate the bots into a second parameter, second chart, and change what you want. Have the original, have a duplicate. Now, I've changed a lot, but I'm telling you that they really work very well. Wow, I'm interested in options too. You should come, Sonny. He's actually going to set up an options room, I think. He's really gotten quite autodidactic on. He taught himself. He's done really well. Do the bots use order flow? No, they don't. They run on average true range and crossovers and so on. Do you offer assistance? It's for free too, Eli. I do. I come to your computer and set them up for you, and it's when you buy the bots, for free. That's probably a bad word, but there's no additional cost. How's that? Do you use I don't use VPS. I mean, I hear people using this as a backup system, and they have issues sometimes with them, but I haven't seen any dedicated data that substantiates the worthiness of a VPS system. It sounds like a salesman. Why would they fund a human account if they can just run the bot for free? Why would they fund a human account if they can run the bot? Who's they? You mean the other people, the OBM sites like Apex? Because that's your business to make money available to you for trading, and they charge you a fee to do it. That's their business model. And the more you fail, the more they make. Can you suggest a funded trader website? All right, so the ones that are, I'll suggest these because the people in the room are using them. So there's some grandfathered expertise and knowledge in the room. Apex is their first choice. Lilu is their second, and UProfit or UpProfit is a third. I'm traveling often. Do you know of a funded company that offers mobile? I think all of them do. Mobile apps on your phone, I'm sure all of them do because of that exact issue, Andrew. I use the free program Dimension 4, and it auto synchronizes more often. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Dimension 4 comes out of Dimension Trader, right? I have seen that program, and I've tried it. And the idea is that you would presume that your computer synchronizes, but it does not. I can tell you. Do I synchronize to exchange time? No, always use Eastern Standard Time. The whole world trades according to Eastern Standard Time. Bob is amazing. Yes, he is, Warren. Bob is amazing. To confirm, you are just using the settings on the members. To confirm, you are just using the sites. Yes, confirm. I am just using the sites on the members area. Right. Those settings. I'm interested in your tweak settings. 3 bots. Oh, yeah. And so there's a small fee for that because I set them up. I ran all the data. The way I did it was take like let's say a oil bot and set up 60 of them at once with all slight changes to each other, looking for what they call mathematical synergy, that the small changes would be additive and incremental. And I eventually went from 60 to 30 to 20 to 10 and so on down to 1. And that one bot does pretty well. And you can have that for like $100. I'm thinking of running VPS really because my internet connection isn't the best. Supposedly VPS connectivity would, yeah, supposedly, David, but again, I'm thinking more hype than reality. I mean, the idea is that if it's supposed to substantiate against that, how often does that happen? And the cost to prevent, to protect, I think is high. I'm just not a big fan, obviously. I don't know about Dimension Trader. I think he's different. Um, Here is the Dimension 4. Okay, I'm gonna try and I don't know if I can copy that out there, David. Let me see if I can. Oh, here it is. It's HTTPS. Could you just email that to me, David, at my email down here? Email all other inquiries to Bob, please, and he will sound them out. So here, I'll put this in the chat box. You can see it. Here we go. Chat. Here's my email address in the chat box. All right, so last question here. I'm having sound issues at the beginning. Could you please show the recent results Monday through Friday again, please? If not, I can email you. Okay, Monday through Friday. Sure. If you guys don't want to hang around for this, you can leave. I'll just finish up with everyone. Could you please show the recent results? Do you know the turnover rate attrition? People who buy this bot system and then leave because they run out of. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but the idea is that I can tell you, and this is Bob posts his profits every day in the room. Now he's obviously a better trader than me, but he is remarkably accomplished, and he always asks the question. He asks every day, "Has anyone lost money? Has anyone lost money?" So if you're in his room, you lost money, you say, "I lost money." Then he'll ask how, because he's up $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. How did you lose money? Well, I didn't take this trade, and I got out early, and the list goes on and on. So there's no way they lose money. I run the bots every day. They make money every day. I don't know how you can lose money. I mean, I'm sure people do because they get out early, they stay in late. They take losers to the grave and they cut off winners at the knees. That's been well established for a very long period of time. Take the money and run and get out early. Can we visit the room for free? Shriek, for free. When you take the 1 week trial, Scott, you get a 1 week trial to the room for $10. You'll be in the room for 5 days. So $2 a day. That's close to free, right? Close to free. All right, so Jonathan wants to see the profit loss on the 5 days of the week. If you don't want to see that, you can just you're welcome, Scott. You can just leave, and I'll understand. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to get rid of my questions, and I'm going to go to from current slide. All right, so this was the section on the profit loss, and it started with the basic concept of the following. This is my data for 10 weeks. At this time frame, the the futures shown in green are profitable by my definition of what's a profitable trade. Averages $470 a day. And so I asked the question, what has control over time? So you take the 10 weeks, you break it down to 10 Mondays, individual days, Tuesdays, Wednesdays through Friday. And again, the profitable trades are shown in green. And here's what we're looking at then, but on the basis of this target system is diurnal variation, understanding the 5 days a week are not created equally. So obviously we look at Monday, averages 486, Tuesday, 905. Wednesdays average minus 25 hours a day for the last 10 Wednesdays. Minus 25 is different than 900. This made $9,000 in 10 Tuesdays, and this lost $250 in 10 Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if you're trading towards strength, which is what I do, I would be trading this way towards Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Likewise, we take the circadian rhythms, the fact that the hours of the day, the individual hours, are not equally effective or profitable. And we want to understand that so we can trade towards the profitability itself and away from weakness. I divided the trade day. You can divide it any way you want, but I divide mine from early pre-market, market, early afternoon, and evening, 4 times of the day. So if you take, let's say, in this case, we're going to look at Wednesday, again, from this time frame and ask, how did the pre-market trade do? It averaged minus 35 per session versus minus 25 per session. So obviously they both stink, right? There's no advantage. But in the afternoon over the last 10 weeks, it made $451 in 10 weeks. That's $4,500. Well, it's close to it, right? And in the evening, not so good. So if you were to trade just one, you trade towards the afternoon. Agreed? And likewise, I took a profitable day, which was Monday, averaging 46 a day, and asked what happened in the pre-market, 720, early afternoon, and then evening. So again, 3 active indices working, 3 working, 4 working, 3 working. And if you were to say, well, I don't have enough money to trade all of these, okay, then fine. Trade towards NASDAQ in the bot only. Then after that, trade towards NASDAQ, and then after that, trade towards NASDAQ, and before that, trade towards gold, right? You can pick the ones you want. You can trade all 4 sessions. All right, and this is called open range trading. You can go to my website, globaltradetitans.com, and get a little bit of an idea on that. Okay, so that should free up everybody. So I think I'm going to Bob Amico. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Questions. All right, thank you, Dean. Have a great rest of the weekend, Dean. You're welcome, Joshua. Dr. Dean, are the bots placing the trades, and do they show you what they trade, and then you place the trade yourself? The bots place the trade, execute the trade, manage the trade, show you targets and stops, hit the targets, move the contract, the stop to break even, and exit when the trade is done. Do the whole thing start to finish. Now, I trade the bots on the side. I use the bots as what you would call a trading template because I tend to get better fills in the bot and better exits in the bot. And again, I wait my target. Almost all times I skip target 1 altogether on my own trade panel because I know mathematically target 1 is profit-wise inferior to target 2. I never trade towards inferiority, always superiority. So I trade sideways like that. So hope that helped. Answers, Lee. Thank you. What ES bot settings were you running to get the result? ES bot settings that I was, okay, so there's two sets of bots. There's the accelerate growth bots that are my settings, and there's the ES bots for the funded trader account, and there's ES bots on the original. So you can look at the data set for all three of them and say, I like this or I don't like that. But mostly I run the bot settings from Bobby, especially on his funded account. Thank you. Confusing because all new. How about that? How about that? Here's something new. Do the bots run on my computer or no? They run on yours, Steven. You download them on your like I downloaded them on my computer. I run them on my computer. I track them on my computer, and then I watch Bobby's running the same thing on his computer, and him trading right alongside me. Now like I say, he has slightly different attitudes on trading than I do, which is fine. It's healthy but I get to see his, right. I can differentiate. I can watch him, and he's remarkable to watch. He is just, I mean, you heard the spontaneous comments just going forward. He is really just quite an impressive person, and he's there. He makes this clear all the time. He's there to make you succeed. His primary goal is to help you succeed. He'll trade for live cash along the side, on and off. I already trade for sim on and off, but his primary goal on a daily basis is to have you succeed. So if you have a problem, you'll always ask, did you make money today? Who lost money today? And you raise your hand. I need help here. All right, it's 12 o'clock. I've really outstayed my welcome. Thank you very much, everyone. No further questions. Um, can you send Can you, um, David Levin says, can you send program email? I can't, Bob will be, the program will be available I think Bobby will post this video. Still unclear. Can I load the bots onto TradeStation platform? All right, so there's Greg, let me see. There's a TradeStation bot available. And when you download it onto TradeStation and run it, it does not give you the same results as TradeStation doesn't have the same equivalent type of settings in the indicator panel that Ninja does. That's the problem. It's not built the same way. So the settings are different. So I worked for a long while to get the bots set up on TradeStation. And not that it was complicated, just that I was working with someone else and we worked on and off. So I think the answer is not exactly. Not exactly. I would advocate that you just get Ninja. I mean, I like TradeStation. Dean, is this session from 1 to 3 profitable on Thursday with the bots for, yes. Yeah, the afternoon session, right, correct. I mean, so the idea is that they always tell us that past performance does not indicate future performance, but past performance is all we have. That's the only metric we have. Now, my past performance is pristine because it's forward walk paper trade. It's not backtesting. So I have 10 weeks of real data to tell me what to do on the 11th week. I have 10 Mondays in a row to tell me what to do on the 11th Monday. And I'm asking the last 10 Mondays, how did you do? Raise your hand if you have profitable trades, and they will. They will. So I trade from strength that way. Data feeds can be different. They will be, David, and configuration, oh my goodness, can be turned on. Most common, which is less data, different from configuration. Oh, yes, that's true. Paul, you're welcome. Recording, and Bob, this is recorded. Stop recording. Yeah, this is recorded. It's ongoing. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Bob, do you want to add any information or content? Are you still there? I'm not sure. All right, so let me make Bob Amico present attendees. Let's see here. Hi, your alpha. All right, so I go to. Oh, okay. So how do I? I don't see as an attendee. So How do I make you a co-presenter? Sharing screen, audience view. Go to my name. I'll go to your name. Audio. Bob. Bob. It says Bob Amico talking. Yes, I will need a recording. Fine, Jeff. We'll get that. The screen I've been seeing for a while now. 8 boxes. Right. So what is that? 3 are cruiser class bots on the top. 4 are accelerated growth bots on the bottom. 5th one is my personal training bot, and my funded accounts are on the next screen. Bob says, click the mic. Okay, click the mic. Go to your name and click the mic. Hold on for 1 second here. Go to your name and click mic. Priority question. Okay, let me go to attend. So under attendees, though, I don't have you listed as an attendee. So I see the cursor over the black. Okay, right, that's correct. Co-presenter. Okay, go to co-presenter. So screen sharing, give the keyboard and mouse, change presenter. Oh, let's do that. Make another presenter. Available where there are qualified attendees. Okay. Here down the bottom. All right. Oh, you're Rob. Got it. You're robbing me. There, you're Robert. Oh no, cancel. Robert Amico. Make presenter. Got it. All right, Bobby, you're on. This should be fine. Okay. You guys hear Bob talking? Did I do that right or not?
Yeah, guys, can you hear me speaking?
I can see and hear you. You did good, Bobby.
Yeah, all right. Dean, thank you. Guys, Dean did a great job on the presentation. I just wanted to follow up with a couple of things. I have had, while Dean was doing his presentation, maybe half a dozen emails, some requesting trials and some other questions. So what I thought, instead of sitting here banging out emails for the next couple hours, I would at least address the questions that have come in. Now, I cannot see any further questions from my end, but Dean can see them and he can relay any. So first, anybody that would like to attend a week-long trial, you guys can do that. It is not a free trial, all right? The $10, it's a $10 weekly trial. So you pay $10, you come in for 5 days. Geez, Bob, why don't I get a free trial? And that question comes up all the time. $10 is not a profit center for me. $10 ensures that I have a real name and a real person in the room. Okay, that's for starters. Over the many years, almost 10 years that I've been doing this, I have seen Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Muhammad Ali, and any other famous actor and or person attend trials. About 5 years ago was when I went to a $10 weekly trial. So this just ensures that a real person is signed up. And additionally, over the years prior to a $10 trial, I have had people effectually attempt to get a free membership. And they get a free membership merely by joining this week as Joe Dokes, and next week there's Sammy Stinks, and the week after they're Ronnie Randolph. It's not a profit center, guys. It's a $10 trial. In the room, as Dean touched base on, there are 2 aspects to this room. One is the bot trades, right? So when the bots fire a trade, and it is a fully automated robot, one of the questions that came up in the email was, does it enter the trades? It does. It's fully automated. When the parameters are met, as long as the bot is on, it will execute the buy, and targets and stops are not arbitrary. Targets and stops on the bot are generated by current market volatility. So we use average true range. So the robot is actually identifying average true range right up until the point of entry. That will change from trade to trade to trade based on an increase or a decrease time of day of market volatility. So targets and stops in the pre-market may be much smaller, in fact, are much smaller than what you might see at 9:45 in the morning. But again, the bot is assessing average true range. Okay, so it is a fully automated, start to finish, hands-free robot. The trial button, or if you want to sign up for a trial, the trial link is on the main website. I believe it's on the membership page. There's a PayPal button for $10. If you guys sign up and want to sit in the room next week, that's great. If you are interested after seeing Dean's data, you'd like to purchase the robot, you can send me an email. And the other aspect of the trade room is my order flow trades. I trade order flow. I offer order flow trades. I trade a live account. I do not trade a SIM account when I'm giving my order flow trades. So I'm trading along with you. I am taking the same risk. I'm also offering the same targets and the same stops as what I'm using. I don't know if there are 2,400 rooms, whatever there may be. I don't know if there are 10 rooms that can legitimately claim that they trade a live account, but I do trade a cash account. If anybody has any questions for me, I am happy to answer them. The only reason that my TradeStation charts are up, I don't have my Ninja loaded, so I can't show anything on NinjaTrader, but I leave my TradeStation charts up 7 days a week.
Bobby, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, so here's a question. He says, I'm using, this is from Steven. I'm using the e-meaning bot. Can I trade at SPX index option instead of a futures contract?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the answer to that question is yes, if you have a TD Ameritrade account. So NinjaTrader allows for, the bot is not built for any other platform aside from really NinjaTrader 8. I do have it for Sierra charts. We haven't updated it in quite some time, so I really wouldn't sell it. And as Dean touched base on, it is built for TradeStation, but the programming language is different, and we can't identically mimic what we've accomplished on NinjaTrader 8. That said, some of you are Forex traders. Some of you are currency traders. Some of you guys trade equities. Some of you guys may trade options. NinjaTrader allows for a cross-connect of data from TD Ameritrade. So, for instance, you go to the drop-down menu in your data connections on NinjaTrader, and you will see a connection for TD Ameritrade, which I have. You then click on that. You put in your TD Ameritrade login ID and password. Voila! You now can pipe in data from TD Ameritrade and get those stocks, whatever it is, Amazon, Tesla, whatever the case may be, SPY. You can load that on your chart. The bot will execute trades. You can then put the bot on those charts, and it will execute trades vis-a-vis Ninja through your TD Ameritrade account. If you're a Forex trader and you have, it used to be Oanda, but I believe they've discontinued Oanda, you can cross-connect the data to FXCM. Similar to what I just relayed with TD Ameritrade, you can build a currency pair, US dollar, CHF. You build the chart that you prefer to trade, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, daily, whatever the case may be. You put the bot on that. We would need to find settings because I don't trade currencies, but we can figure out settings. I do have some settings that work very, very well on a daily basis in futures trading. And you could then trade currency pairs. So the answer to the simplified answer is to the direct question, yes, you can trade through your TD Ameritrade account vis-a-vis a data connection to Ninja.
All right, another question, Bobby. Andrew says, can I trade micros versus full size, but still follow you?
Yes, my brother does. Yeah, I have my brother's in the room and he trades micros. My brother is, I've been begging him to learn to trade for 10 years, and he has begun to trade over the last 6 months. He is in the process of learning order flow and does follow along with me trading minis. He also trades his robots with minis. Yes, you can.
All right, next question. Greg Franklin asks, Bob and Dean, are the bot results on TradeStation within 10 to 20% of? All right, so here's the deal with TradeStation. You know, TradeStation is like this, like gigantic, ginormous thing with like 800 settings, which you need to optimize. Then when you optimize settings for crossovers and target 1 and target 2, they're different than the bot. that are different than the original settings in Ninja. So you have to yank it back into place. And yeah, they're within 20%, but they don't get the same entries. They don't fire off at the same time. So it's
Well, the other issue is you can't do tick. So in some of
right.
these charts,
That's the
we
big
use
one.
secondary time frame. So the way that the bot is programmed is it's a multi-time frame analysis of moving averages, right? So that we have secondary time frames. So your primary chart, for instance, let's just say 3 minutes, right? The trigger on the primary chart is the moving average crossover, whatever they may be. Let's just use 10 and 20 for sake of conversation. On your 3 minute chart, the trigger is when the 10 crosses the 20, let's just assume long, that's the trigger. But the only way that the trade takes place is if your secondary time frames, meaning you're effectually trading 2, 3, 4, or 5 additional charts, which you don't see, but the bot is actually monitoring, those same moving averages, in this instance 10 and 20, have to be already in the same direction as your primary chart. So if you have, for instance, a 144 tick or a 466 tick as a secondary time frame, and those have crossed up, and then your 3 minute crosses up, you get your trade. The problem with TradeStation is they don't do tick data, so we can't do a secondary time frame
Right.
with ticks. So we cannot mimic the same data, although it's built for TradeStation. We cannot mimic the same trades, and honestly, I've never used the bot on TradeStation. I don't even have it loaded on my TradeStation. I use TradeStation solely for charting. I trade my cash account either with Ninja or with TD Ameritrade. I don't trade on TradeStation, but I chart on TradeStation because I prefer the charts on TradeStation.
All right. Next question. This is from Scott. Can we buy a standalone bot? If so, are they black box or can we modify the code?
You cannot modify the code. You can change parameters. It's a black box essentially, and you can modify parameters, meaning, again, using the aforementioned, if I'm using a 10 and 20 moving average and you say, well, I think 8 and 31 is better, right? You can do that. That you can do. If you say, well, target 1 out of the box is 1.5 times average true range, but I want to make it 1 times average true range, you can do that. There are settings that you can adjust as they may be particular to you, but as far as changing the coding in the robot, no, you cannot change the coding.
Right. Okay, good question. Anthony asked, Bob, do you teach order flow in the room, and what tools do you use for order flow?
I do. Order flow is what I teach. My next course is actually in September, and I use an order flow indicator, which is mine. It was built for me, give or take 5 years ago. We're actually going to make some upgrades to it in the next few weeks. We've been working on some visual upgrades, but I use order flow. I teach order flow in conjunction with the order flow indicator. I use very few other indicators. I also do teach the cloud, which you can see on my TradeStation here, and I also teach as part of that order flow volume profile. If you guys, let's see here, if I could load, all right, hang on, guys. Tell you what I'll do. I'll load my Ninja charts. It'll take, it's Ninja and it's Saturday, so it may only take 4.5 days.
Let me answer this question from James while they're loading. James says, what is the minimum dollar and or recommended dollar amount to fund a dormant account? I happen to have a dormant account. So the idea is, let's say you need $10,000.
I think $500. No, $500 is the minimum amount to fund a dormant account, which gives you data. If you're talking about actually trading, then I believe the NASDAQ is currently $750. Same with the for micros. Micros may be $100.
Yeah.
Minis I think are $750 or $1,000. Gold is 1250. Crude is 1500.
Yeah, a little bit higher because of the volatility in Ukraine, but yes. So the
Yeah,
idea is
right.
that
Yeah.
to trade towards micros. That's what I do.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Steven says, does Ninja 8 and TD Ameritrade have tick data, Bobby?
TD Ameritrade does.
And yeah,
Ninja Trader absolutely does because I
yeah.
use ticks.
How often does the code change on the bots, and what does it cost updating? The code hasn't changed, and the updates are free. They're posted in the members area. All new bots, all new settings available for free. Now, if you have any questions about those settings or setups, you can contact me, and I'll show up on your computer and set them up for free. So you can get them either way.
So I am. I'm
oh,
sorry. Go ahead, Dean.
yeah, no, that's okay. So back to tools for order flow trade and so on.
Yeah. So my Ninja. So here's my order flow indicator, and I have no data, which is awesome.
You should after 10
There
o'clock.
we go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Saturday. So this is my order flow indicator, right? This was built for me. There's also a really cool aspect to our order flow indicator, which is an automated aspect of order flow. It is the only order flow in existence that has an automated aspect to it.
And one comment, there are 16 rooms, trade rooms, with the word order or order flow in their name, and none of them trade order flow live or have a track record or show the trades at all except for Bob. None of them.
So this is for those of you guys that don't know, this is volume profile. If you guys don't trade volume profile or know anything about it, I teach volume profile as well. I have not historically, but I will teach it in the next order flow class. These are my markings from yesterday. So when we come into the room at 8 o'clock in the morning, I have already marked up my charts and I show these levels. So here's what I had yesterday, right? Based on order flow and volume profile. First area support was 12,751. Next area support below that was 12,692. That was our long. That was our long right here. Okay, we came back and tested that. That was our long. These are my resistance levels. That was resistance level 1, 946. That's a previous month's high. Not the previous month, but a previous month high. I can't go back that far, but we stopped almost to the tick. And this data is obviously different as well. I don't have I don't have correct data. I may not have yeah, I do have rhythmic. It's connected. But we traded just above 13,000, which was my second area of resistance. I think we traded 13,011 and then backed off. But this is volume profile. Here's the ES. These are our levels for the ES. These have been our levels for the ES all the way up, and then support zones below. And I go through this every day at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I, show other charts as well. For instance, natural gas or gold or crude or whatever the case may be. But I go through this every single day.
All right,
SPX option trades are based on these levels.
and there's a lot of options that Bobby has called every day, not just one a week. Here's a question. Micros, not emailing. I thought you said it was 5. I'm looking at Dorman now. I just called my broker on this 2 days ago. So the initial maintenance for, let's say, E-mini S&P 500 is 12,320. NASDAQ is 17,000, 9,000 for YM and so on. This is because
who is that through?
This is for Dorman margins, day margin.
Yeah, I don't use them. So
I think Ninja might be cheaper, but and then next question is Ninja can be used as your broker and your trade house, right? There are several thousand introducing brokers, IBs, but there are 61 futures commission merchants. 61. There used to be 214.
But unless you're grandfathered with Ninja, which I think was 2015 15 when they bought the old Mirrors futures.
Right.
You have to go through NinjaTrader.
Right. You have to. So Ninja is unique that they have their own brokerage firm, Ninja, and they have their own futures commission merchant, Ninja. So they're like kind of a co-op, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's one for you, Bobby. For order flow, I would think there are profitable hours of the day similar to Dean's time frames. Go ahead, you can answer that, Bobby.
No,
You
no.
trade differently.
Yeah, no. I can find trades at 6 o'clock at night. I can find trades at 3 in the morning. I can find order flow trades at 3 in the afternoon. No.
He finds them all the time. So this is like sort of like mine's a very mechanical system, and Bobby's is very fluid. He trades what he sees. I trade what has happened. I think in the Infinity Futures $500 margin, is that true? Do you know what your margins are, Bob, for futures?
I don't use Infinity. I'm grandfathered with Ninja, so I don't use NinjaTrader brokerage either.
Oh, okay.
My margins through NinjaTrader are relatively inexpensive, really inexpensive. My margins through TD Ameritrade are much higher.
Much higher. Yeah, so the idea is that you can't talk to a futures commission merchant directly. You can't talk to Ninja directly, but you can talk to the introducing broker. There are thousands of them, and each one has several of them, several different FCMs within their portfolio. So you have to shop around. I'm shopping around now too because I'm disappointed with the cost of doing business with Dorman. So next question. Ninja is the cheapest by far. Trades have been done at 450, and then you can trade at 6 o'clock. March is the cheapest. Okay, fine. You looked around. Next question here. Do you have a max loss for the day? How often does it hit? Okay, the max loss for the day is starting off in the box is 1,500. I've never hit it.
2,000.
Oh, yeah, 2,000. It's never hit a losing day. I mean, when I lose, like I average like minus 30 or minus 50, like not minus 2,000. So I haven't hit it yet, and I keep track of every day.
If we're talking about the funded robots, right?
If yeah.
Okay, so if you're talking about trying to get funded, I have devised a 3-part video series, which is in the member area, to get funded, how to get funded, and then stay funded, right? Because if anybody has attempted to get funded in the past, you guys know, right? It's can be easy or not, and then you get funded and you wash out. The reality is this with funded accounts, all right? Every one of these programs, don't care if it's Apex with their trailing draw, I don't care if it's Top Step Trader, I don't care, who it is, pick a company. Every single one of these companies has a trap door. They may vary slightly, but the reality, and I say this in the room, so I'm not going to say anything that I haven't said before. The reality is none of these funded trader platforms are looking for traders. Let me qualify that. What's a trader, right? It'd be nice if we took a trade or 2 or 3 and never had a losing trade. That'd be great. That isn't trading. We all know that. The best trader I know is a friend of mine who comes in the room every single day, and Greg makes an exorbitant amount of money every year. Okay. He does not trade with stops. He trades very differently than I do, primarily with hourly candles, 15-minute candles. And I mean, a 15-minute candle is his small time frame, which is, if you're looking at my charts, you can see my NASDAQ is a 30 range, right? Greg had a crude trade on last week with 6 contracts, and he was down 80 ticks in draw on 6 contracts. He didn't close the trade, but he ended up making better than $3 per contract. That's a trader. I'm in the trade for an hour. I'm in the trade for 4 hours, but I have an idea where I'm coming out, and I have an idea where my targets are. So, he made a significant amount of money on that trade. Top Step Trader or Apex Funding, they are not looking for guys that can identify a trade like that. They're looking for people that can trade 15, 20, 30 ticks with a 10 to 15 tick stop. They're looking for scalpers. Now, it's a different process once you get to a PA account or a funded account. you still have a bit of a hurdle. So with Apex, once you get over 53,000, you now get a PA account, right? A funded account, effectually a funded account. The more equity you build in that account, you get to 53, 55, 60, 58, whatever the number, the larger draw you have and the ability then you have to take a little more draw in your trades without having to worry about washing out a funded account or a PA account. That said, the way that the bots are set up, or that we have devised the plan, is day one, your goal is $500 with a $2,000 max draw, right? Because that will still essentially keep you alive. Day two, assuming you've hit your $500 goal, right? And pretty much we do, you reduce that daily draw by 20%. So now we go from $2,000 to $1,600. The most you can get back in any day now is $1,600. Well, you got $500 in the kitty. So the worst that can happen to you is, if you adhere to this, is maybe you're upside down $1,100, right? Let's take worst case scenario. So day two, now you make $500. And within the bot programming, we have a daily draw and a daily goal, and also a time filter. You can program it to trade whatever times you'd like. Day two, you make your $500. You now, again, day three, are going to reduce your daily draw by yet another 20%. So now from $1,600, you take out another $320. You're basically at $1,280. Most you can get back going into day three, right? But now you got $1,000 in the kitty. So essentially, if you washed that day and gave back $1,280, you're really down $280. You're essentially back where you started, but you're still trading a combine account. Once you're funded, or as we get closer to funding, and the way that I've got this broken down is, once you get within about $600 or $700 or $800, we reduce those contracts now from 2 to 1, and we minimize our draw to no more than $700 a day. So now you're trading one contract. This is, to get funded is a grind. There is no reward. Listen, I've done it in the room. I've shown it. I've passed combines, $3,000. I've done it in less than 2 hours, trading 10 contracts using order flow. I've done it multiple times. I posted it in the member Skype. Okay?
I have
But
the certificates.
There's no reward for that. Nobody's going to say, hey, great, you're an awesome trader. You know what? We're going to waive the 10 days. You don't need to trade one micro in and out for another 9 days. And not only that, we're going to give you an extra 50 grand just because you're awesome. They don't care. Conversely, they don't care if you pass in 20 days. The goal is to pass. So this is a grind. The way to make money with a funded account, all right, and with complete candor, I passed 12 accounts, and I trade them sporadically. I don't care to trade them. Why? Well, with Apex, the most I can withdraw for the first 3 months is $2,000 for the month, okay? For the month. Well, last week, trading my live account, I did $8,500. All right, well, you know, maybe there's better traders than me. Maybe there's guys that made more money than me, but I do it with a lot less risk than they do. And I can substantiate that with broker statements. I don't take a lot of risk. I'm not in a business that is essentially risk. I am risk averse. I don't trade 25 contracts. I don't trade 10 contracts. I don't rarely trade anything more than 4, rarely. And I'm scaling out relatively quickly. The same thing with these funded trader platforms. Where it makes sense is when, like with Apex, you get 10 accounts, 7 accounts, and you do $300 a day or $400 a day. Now you're making $3,000 a day. Well, I don't make $3,000 a day trading my own account. I don't. I have a daily goal. When I hit it, I stop. I know enough to SOH, sit on my hands. When I hit my goal, I'm done. That's it. I made my money. I made my goal, and I quit. I have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory many times in the past. I learned from my past mistakes. Trading these funded accounts is the same thing. Can we get you funded? And let me follow up on that. Dean said in his presentation we have 130 funded traders. We do not. We have over 170. We did, for the month of July, we did 29 funded accounts, 29 traders, funded. That's July. Okay. In June, we had one guy pass 15 accounts at once. In June, we did 71 funded traders. In May, we had 28 1 week. So long story short, we have over 170 traders that have passed combines. We have almost 500 combined accounts. These are mostly 90% of them are $50,000 accounts because that's what we did. I have one trader in the room that has 11 funded accounts for over $1 million in funding. Now he trades different things on funded accounts, meaning he's not using a trade copier and trading, 3 contracts across the board. He's doing micros in some, he's doing something else in some, one here, 2 account. But long story short, I've got one guy that's over $1 million in funding. That's Herculean, guys. When I set out to do this in April, Dean, I don't recall. April, maybe?
Yes, that's about right.
No other trade room.
None.
And I'll call anybody out on this. No other trade room set out to do what we have done. They've not even tried to do what we've done, which is mass funding. Now, we do that a combination of the bots and order flow trades, right? So if the bots aren't in a trade, what are you supposed to do? Well, you sit there and wait for a trade, I guess. Or if it's a particularly trend day and they've taken one trade and it's still going in the other direction, but you've hit all your targets. So for instance, here is my NASDAQ bot, right? What do you do if you get one of these where the trade, sells, whacks out all 3 targets? Great, you made money, but it's still selling. You're out of the trade. It's still selling. I find order flow trades. We're here to make money every day, fellas, and generally we do. And if guys are down, I ask every day. I heard Dean mention it. Is there anybody that did not make money today? And if somebody says, yeah, I'm down. How much are you down? Okay, tell me what you did. All right, I'll find you trades. You need $300? You need $200? I'll stay. I'll find trades.
All right, good. So David says the margins I mentioned for dormant sound like overnight margins. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Okay, another question. David says, unless they sign releases, okay, never mind. I don't understand that, David. If someone gets, if someone has money, why would they go for a funded when they can be?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Of course. Don't do it.
But you know how many people are out? I mean, honestly, that's why I trade my own account. I pay myself every day. So when I trade, these funded accounts, it's when I'm done doing or hitting my daily goal, which is 1,500 a day. That's my goal. If I make my 1,500, I'm done trading my cash account. All right, now I'll go play. But there are an abundance of people out there that don't have 15 or 20,000 or 30,000 or 50,000 they can throw into an account and trade futures.
No, they don't. That's the logic of the other people's money. And Bob and I have been looking at them Bobby came up with this idea of looking at them originally. And I was surprised when I first studied them, there was 12, now there's 26. There's a lot more sites, it's lucrative. So you have a question, Sally, do we get the templates for the trades, for the trade? The bot makes its own trades, you get the templates for the bots, we set them up. Then you turn on the bots, they make their own trades, they set their own targets and stops. They're all unique, they're all individual, not the same. And 100%, Steven says, and make 100% and use their rules. Correct. If you're talking to me, I follow Bobby's bots exactly. I don't change a particle. I turn them on, I turn them off, hands-free, independent, and I vacuum up to date at the end of the day, as if I was not even there. Sally says, oh, do you get the template trades for Sally? Template trades for order flow. Yes, if you join Bobby's order flow class, you get everything that he has. Correct.
Next order flow class is in September. It's $6,000, $59.97. That includes my order flow indicator and the full version of the bot, the $24.97 bot, and 6 months in the room at no charge.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
Question Stephen has: can you trade the bots futures in an IRA account? You can.
Yes.
You can. I did it with I do it with E-Trade account, so it's linked onto my system. Good questions. Sally says thanks. Out of reach. Okay. Can you trade? All right. So is that it? It's out of reach for your small account. Yeah. So the prevailing logic then, of course, is that to use a funded account. If the cost of the bots is out of reach, and talk to Bobby, you may be able to structure some kind of payment system.
So here's what I'm going to do, and this is, and then I have to run, fellas. I'm heading out of town. Anybody that's in this webinar today, if you guys would like to purchase the bot today, I will offer a webinar discount only through tomorrow when I return of $2,000. So I'll take off another $500. You can buy the bot for $2,000. That's the full version. I'm not going to discount the 2-instrument bot. If anybody is interested, send me an email and I will invoice you before I leave. And I am leaving for out of town about 1:30, 1:45 at the absolute latest. It is now 12:48 Eastern. So I'll be out of here within an hour. This will not be available. If you want to take a week-long trial, that's great. It's not available next Friday. If you join on Monday, there is no discount next Friday other than the $24.97 discount, which I give to every trial. Anyways, if anybody is interested in purchasing the bot today or tomorrow,
$500 off. So
you can $2,000.
The idea is up around. We discounted $700 for this webinar, and for the multi-use bot, Bobby will discount another $500 down to $2,000 even. All right. The 2 bot purchase is not discounted.
No, $16.97 for the 2 bot purchase or the 2 instrument. And so we're clear, right? I want you guys to be clear. The 2 instrument bot, which is the same as the full version, however, it's licensed to trade only 2 instruments of your choosing, right? So if you tell me license it to trade the NASDAQ and crude, that's all it trades. Micros or minis, but that's all it trades. Doesn't mean tomorrow you say, well, I'm only going to trade natural gas and gold. It's only licensed to trade whatever 2 instruments you tell me.
All right, so here's a question showing, David says, showing full names combined with internet searches makes it easy for bad actors to target people advertised to have good, big money. Yeah, unfortunately, right. So the idea is, though, that it's a tsunami of false advertising, just a tsunami. There's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of fake rooms out there. All right, so again, just to reiterate, the original system was discounted $700 for today, another $500 for the multi, down to $2,000. So $2,000 gets you the following: gets you a bot system that'll trade an unlimited number of bots, gets you 3 months in the room with no live trade room, and it gives you all the templates that you can possibly want. The original bots that Bobby set up, the accelerated bots that I set up, and then the funded bots that Bobby set up in turns as well for all the instruments that he has. And so you can have 8 different NASDAQs and 4 different golds. And so in other words, when it's unlimited, it's unlimited. And it goes a long way. Is there a code where we need to use? No, what you need to do to get this killer deal is to email Bobby directly, right? Email him directly. And Bob, you can type into the, right. You can type into the.
If anybody is interested here, email me here.
So let me see what I see here. All right, so I'm going to put it in the chat box as well, gmail.com. Okay. There you go. TargetStrainPro@gmail.com. Bob.TargetStrain. I don't think you need capitals. Bob@TargetStrainPro.
That's a habit.
Yeah, everyone has it. All right. Let's get back to the questions here. I think we're done. This has been so enjoyable. Oh, Dr. Dean, for ES, you have the margins above $500 per contract. Then in the high margin, you mentioned you are for David. Can you email me this? This is like a tough one. This is like hold a higher 1K. Can you email me this and we'll go over it directly? So two things: limited, unlimited, unlimited, Stephen. And is there a code? There's no code. You just have to contact Bobby directly. He sends out invoices. All right. So thank you. Perfect. Unlimited. Bob said only two bots. There's two programs. You can buy 2 bots or unlimited. The discount is for the unlimited. How long is the webinar price for the 2 bots before it expires, Bob? Tomorrow.
You guys are welcome to take a trial next week, but the additional discount will not apply. Next Friday, the price of the bot is $24.97. And you know, listen, I don't make it's $24.97 next Friday if you want to take the trial this week. If you want to buy the bot today or tomorrow, it's $2,000. That's the webinar special. I won't offer the webinar special after the trial.
And Scott says, if you buy the bot, do you have it for life? You do. There's no other changes. No, they're not. And if there's any changes, they're for free and they're announced directly to you.
And licensed on 2 computers, so you can license it on a laptop if you travel, or you know, two home computers, whatever. In some instances, if you got a buddy you trade with and you want to go $1,000 a piece, I only invoice one of you, and only one of you is allowed to come into the trade room. But you both have a bot, so you know it's.
If we pay before tomorrow, we start with you on Monday, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And Bob has snacks in the room, so it's even better.
They're sim sacks, though. They're sim
sim snacks. Pictures of chips. All right, everyone. This has been very, very interactive. I thank you so much for your time. Bobby and I will probably do another webinar, in a little while. So stay tuned for that because we found these be very productive. I'm going to bail out, Bobby. Is that good?
Hey, man, and I got to take off as well. I'm heading out of town. Guys, be blessed. I appreciate your time. I know Dean does. And anybody that's interested, just email me. I will take care of that before I'll invoice it before I leave. I may not be able to follow up until tomorrow when I return. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow mid-morning Eastern time.
All right, then.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Take care now. Bye-bye.